Imagine a community of runners who are dedicated to improving their own and their fellow members' experience of race day. This community will be purely online, welcome for anyone in the world to join. And today I'm going to talk to you about this community and what to expect as a member. So in this race day community, the idea is to provide as much education, guidance and support and inspiration for runners who are either looking to get back into races or maybe looking to improve their race results, or maybe they are experienced runners who are looking to pass on some wisdom. We want everyone who's keen to improve their race day experience in this group, and today I'm going to tell you more about it. So first up, race day previews. When members post about looking to enter a race, or maybe they've already entered, we want to help them decide how they're going to approach that race. So race day strategy, how you approach each race is a key thing that influences how well the race goes. Okay, if you don't have any sort of a plan of how you're going to approach the race, a lot of the time you will either go chasing someone or the pack, and at a speed that you probably shouldn't, because you feel good on the day, you're full of motivation and anticipation all day about the race, but you can very easily go off too quick and not have a good experience. The flip side of it is maybe you you're hoping to run the whole thing, but you haven't really had a very good preparation, whether you've just not been able to run as often as you'd like, or maybe not hit the distances that your body really needs to have a good experience. We want to teach you how to have a good race day, and that comes down to preparation, race strategy, and training. Basically we want to help you get the best of all of those things by teaching you, guiding you, and providing as much feedback as we can on the way things are going. Race previews will be a feature where someone will suggest an event that they'd like to do, and we will look to go and find the route for that event, look at the hill profile, look at what the wind's usually like, and help people figure out how they should approach the race. It's very easy to enter a race without really diving into the details, what the terrain's going to be like, what the hill profile's like, and that can have a big impact on the experience you have in that race. So we'll look to do screen recording videos, taking you around the route, showing you what to expect, so that you can set a good strategy which is going to enable you to achieve the time that you want with the strategy that you need. Also with race events, we can have meetups. So if multiple people from the community are doing the same race, well, we start a Facebook chat group and coordinate a meetup point and time, and potentially have photos and warm up together before the start of the race. This just makes events so much more interesting when you're meeting up with people. It's not just you going about your warm up and race day by yourself. It does just adds so much more to each event that you enter. After the race, we'll be offering video assessments on how people's race went. So obviously someone could provide feedback on how their race went, but if it went really well, then we want to showcase that. We want to show people what you've recorded with your Garmin data or your Strava data, and basically help people understand this is what they were hoping to achieve. This was the challenge that they faced during the race. This was the hill profile of the course. This is what the wind was like, the terrain was like, and this is what they did kilometre by kilometre or mile by mile to account for those challenges within the race, and this is the time that it led to, and this is why we think they've done such a good job, or maybe this is why the event didn't go as well as they had hoped. And that could be really, really important for someone, especially imagine if you've had a bad race and you can't understand why. Well, having an expert to analyze your data can be really useful, and obviously if you're prepared to have that analysis shared with the group, then that's all part of the community membership that we're offering, because there's so much that can be learned from someone's race data. We have heart rate, we have the elevation, and we have the speed, so how long it took to cover each section of the race. And it really, as a coach, allows me to dive in and see, how was the body responding? Oh, let's check the heart rate, because it looks like they're going a bit quicker than what they originally planned to go at, and we can see how the heart rate increases and decreases throughout the race, and what sort of effect that might have on their total race day experience. We'll also be sharing technique assessments. So if someone sends us in a video of them running towards the camera and maybe side on to the camera, then we can record a screen recording video over the top of that, and basically help you watching the video to see what makes a good technique. What does a coach look at when he's assessing someone's technique, and how does he decide what sort of changes need to be made? So watching these sorts of videos can really help you assess your own technique, and it won't be long before you're checking other runners who are going down the street and picking out little faults that you can see in their technique. We want to turn you into a running technique expert purely for being a member of the Race Squad community. We've already got expert interviews arranged, so periodically you'll have a video interview posted in the group with an accomplished runner. So at the moment, we have people who have been very good runners in the past, or maybe they're in their prime, and we want to know, how do they do it? What do they do differently to your weekend warrior? So these guys have loads of experience, and I'm sure all of us can learn from what they do, as part of their race routine. The morning of the race, how they aim to stick to a race pace, if they stick to one at all, and what do they do in the weeks beforehand, the months beforehand? What does their training look like? What does their taper period look like? And what sort of secret tips do they have? There's just so much that we can learn from experienced runners, and we can pass that on to the Race Squad community. We can put on live Q&A sessions, Facebook Live, within the group, so you can gather up any questions you have about running and either put them to me or to any experts that we have on hand, and we can get a variation of answers, and get your questions answered so that you have less to worry about on race day and in preparation for your next event. I'd also like to set up milestone rewards. So we want to reward community members for offering support to others, doing a certain number of events, maybe showing up for group photos before an event, all sorts of things that we would like to reward community members for. So look out for these. More details will be coming soon. We'll also be offering to help community members to pick a target race speed. Okay, so the more you learn about what I recommend runners should do in preparation for a race, the more you'll learn the importance of having a target race pace. And deciding what that race pace should be can actually be quite a tough thing. So we're offering for you to send in a link to your Strava profile, so we can look at what your training's been like in the build up to your race. And imagine if you've got an event coming up that weekend, we also want to look at what the event is. Is it trail, or is it tarmac? Is it hilly? Is it going to be windy? Is it going to be hot? All these things that we expect are going to affect your ability to perform at your best. We want to take those into considerations, and then come by the end of the video, come to a conclusion about what your target race pace should be, and what sort of strategy you want to implement, whether it's an aggressive one where you're going straight at that target pace, or whether we think you need to hold a little bit back, or whether we think you should start fast, maybe it's a downhill start, allow your speed to be higher at the start of the race, but then finishing a bit slower. So we'll let you know what we think based on your personal circumstances, as long as you're happy for us to share that with the Race Squad community. We'll also be offering to provide recommendations. So we want, if people are unsure what the next pair of shoes they want to buy is, or what what running t-shirt or vest they should get, ask the group, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people keen to provide their input and suggestions for what works for them. And the same thing can go for food, race day nutrition, training nutrition. Put the question to the group, and we'll make sure that it gets answered either by an expert or by other runners who who know a bit about running nutrition. But most importantly, the resources that we offer within the community will be guided by the community. So if a certain video that we are posting isn't getting much interaction, people don't seem to be liking it or commenting on it, then we'll stop doing them, right? Whereas if something, maybe it's an expert interview, people are like, oh, that was brilliant, what's next, and we'll be putting more time into securing more expert interviews and bringing those to you. Could be the other way around, of course. I think that the race data videos will be fantastic, but it just depends what people want, and that's what we will bring. So who's our community membership for? Well, this level of membership, it's free, right? So it is great for anyone who is just keen to soak up as much information as they can, or maybe they just want to meet new people in an online community, potentially meet them on race day. They're not necessarily feeling a need to get any personalized guidance. The Race Squad community will be a great membership for you. It will not provide personalized guidance from a coach unless you are happy for that guidance to also be shared with the rest of the community. So while the community membership is a fantastic opportunity and it's free, it is not going to provide the same level of guidance as what you would have in the Pro or the VIP membership.